Hello all, Edisoft welcomes you all to the July edition of our monthly current affairs. Here, we will talk about all the important news of June 2024 and some quick reads along the way. Without further ado, let's begin. India ended their 13-year wait for an ICC Cricket World Cup trophy when they beat South Africa by 7 runs to lift the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 at the Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, Barbados on 29 June 2024. South Africa were left heartbroken after coming close to winning their maiden world title but were eventually unable to get over the line against a strong Indian bowling lineup in a match that swayed from end to end. Chasing 177 to win, the Proteas seemed in control when they needed 71 runs off 45 balls with 6 wickets in hand. India, however, had not given up on their chance of winning their second T20 World Cup. All-rounder Hardik Pandya stepped up to remove Klaasen in his first over and followed it up with the crucial wicket of David Miller, courtesy of a stunning catch on the long-off boundary by Suryakumar Yadav. Also, India became the first team to win the T20 World Cup going unbeaten in the tournament. Prime Minister-designate Narendra Modi took oath on 9 June 2024 for a third straight term as the head of a coalition government. Mr. Modi, 73, equaled the feat of the first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, who won in the 1952, 1957 and 1962 general elections. After Mr. Modi, Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, Nitin Gadkari were among 35 other cabinet ministers who took oath. The Election Commission of India has declared results on 4 June 2024. The NDA won 286 seats in this election, and the BJP won 240 seats. This is well below the 303 and 282 seats it had won in 2019 and 2014, respectively, to have a majority on its own. Meanwhile, leaders of 7 countries from South Asia and the Indian Ocean region attended the swearing-in ceremony. Led by the Prime Minister, the new Council of Ministers includes 30 other cabinet ministers, 5 ministers of state with independent charge and 36 ministers of state. A goods train collided with the Sialdah-bound Kanchenjunga Express from Agartala, near Rangpani station, several kilometers from New Jalpaiguri in West Bengal on 17 June 2024. The impact of the collision derailed 3 coaches of the passenger train, 10 people died and around 41 were injured. Railway officials said that a preliminary probe indicated that the loco pilot of the goods train disregarded the signal, which led to the mishap. The loco pilot of the goods train and the guard of the passenger train are among those killed in the accident. PM Modi has announced a compensation of 10 lakh rupees from PM-NRF for the next of kin of each deceased, 2.5 lakh rupees towards grievous and 50,000 rupees for minor injuries. Several dignitaries including West Bengal Governor C.V. Ananda Bose, Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee as well as Bharatiya Janata Party West Bengal Chief Sukant Majumdar visited the North Bengal Medical College in Siliguri to meet the injured. The National Testing Agency, NTA, released the NEET UG 2024 results on 4 June 2024, 10 days ahead of schedule. This caused commotion since it revealed 67 All India Rank 1 holders, which was unusual, and since then there have been concerns regarding the grace mark distribution as well as the integrity of the exam with reports of paper leaks. The NEET has faced criticism for its integrity in choosing candidates for undergraduate medical seats. Petitions for the cancellation of the exam were filed at the Supreme Court and several high courts, citing suspected leaks and anomalies. Later, the NTA and the government cancelled the grace marks and announced arrangements for a re-examination on 23 June for the 1563 applicants who lost exam time. Some petitioners have also requested a probe by the CBI. The Supreme Court is scheduled to convene on 8 July 2024 to deliberate about the potential cancellation of NEET 2024. Indian Railways tested an 8-coach MEMU train on the world's highest railway bridge, the Chenab Bridge in Jammu and Kashmir, on 20th June 2024. The test went well. This is an important step towards starting train service on the route from Raisi to Baramulla. The test took place on a 46 km piece of electricity-powered track between Sangaldan in the Ramban district and Raisi. The train went at 40 km per hour and was seen going through 9 tunnels that were a total of 40.787 km long. The largest tunnel was T44, which is 11.13 km long. After a close look by top officials from the Railway Board, Northern Railway, and Konkan Railway, this trial was very important. This bridge is part of the Udhampur-Srinagar Baramulla Rail Link USBRL project, which was named National Project in 2002 because it is so important for connecting Jammu and Kashmir. Different parts of the project have been opened one at a time. In February 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi opened the 48.1 km long stretch between Banihal and Sangaldan. On 26 June 2024, the ruling BJP-led NDA nominee, Om Birla, was elected as the Speaker of the 18th Lok Sabha for a second consecutive term by a voice vote. This is a rare occurrence, as the position of Lok Sabha Speaker is typically filled through consensus between the ruling party and the opposition. However, this year, the Lok Sabha witnessed contested election for Lok Sabha Speaker post between Om Birla, a 3-time BJP MP from Rajasthan's Kota, and the India Bloc's nominee, Kodikunil Suresh, the 8-time Congress MP from Kerala's Mavelikara, after the Narendra Modi-led NDA government and the opposition failed to reach a consensus. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla won the Kota parliamentary seat by a margin of more than 41,139 votes on 4 June 2024, thus becoming the first presiding officer in 20 years to be re-elected to the lower house. The government on 11 June 2024 announced the appointment of Vice Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi as the next Army Chief. He took over from General Manoj Pandey on 30th June. General Manoj C. Pandey, who was to retire on 31st May, had been given a 1-month extension. Lieutenant General Dwivedi was commissioned into the Infantry, Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, of the Army on 15 December 1984. His command roles include leading the 18 Jammu and Kashmir Rifles Regiment, 26 Sector Assam Rifles Brigade, serving as Inspector General of Assam Rifles, East, and commanding the 9 Corps. The Government of India has officially approved Lieutenant General N.S. Raja Subramani as the next Vice Chief of Army Staff, VCOAS. He joined his position on 20th June. His distinguished military career spans over 37 years, during which he has held command at various levels. VCOAS is the second highest ranking officer in the Indian Army. This statutory position involves acting as the deputy professional head of the Army and serving as a senior advisor to the Minister of Defence. ISRO achieved its third and final consecutive success in the Reusable Launch Vehicle (RLV) landing experiment (LEX) on 23 June 2024 at the Aeronautical Test Range (ATR) in Chitradurga, Karnataka. Pushpak executed a precise horizontal landing, showcasing advanced autonomous capabilities under challenging conditions. With the objectives of RLV LEX accomplished, ISRO embarks into RLVORV, the Orbital Reusable Vehicle. The winged vehicle, Pushpak, was released from an Indian Air Force Chinook helicopter at an altitude of 4.5 kilometers. ISRO said that from a release point 4.5 kilometers away from the runway, Pushpak autonomously executed cross-range correction maneuvers, approached the runway and performed a precise horizontal landing at the runway centerline. It added that this mission simulated the approach and landing interface and high-speed landing conditions for a vehicle returning from space, reaffirming ISRO's expertise in acquiring the most critical technologies required for the development of a reusable launch vehicle, RLV. The capital city Srinagar has been officially recognized as a World Craft City by the World Crafts Council, WCC, underscoring its rich heritage and the exceptional skills of its artisans, leading to global acclaim on 25 June 2024. UNESCO-affiliated World Crafts Council takes note of Srinagar's varied crafts like papier mach, hand-knotted carpets, pashmina, kani and sojani work. The Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, announced this accolade on social media. Their ancient artistry and talents have not only enriched their culture, but they are also highly regarded around the world. The purpose of this award is to recognize and safeguard the diverse range of crafts that are unique to Kashmir. Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, INTLAC, convener in Jammu and Kashmir, Salim Beg, said the international jury of the WCC was surprised by the art and crafts of the region. Kerala's Kozhikode has been honored as India's first UNESCO City of Literature on 23 June 2024. The State Local Self-Government Department Minister, MB Rajesh, announced this recognition. According to this status, the city's cultural history should be celebrated and used to help develop literary ability. The Mayor of Kozhikode and the Kerala Institute of Local Administration took the lead in getting the city this title. Their thorough research and well-organized presentation brought out Kozhikode's important contributions to many cultural areas, making Kolkata's literary practices look weak in comparison. Kozhikode has been home to numerous cultural icons including to Gyanpith laureates. The local cinema, music, and media houses have also played an essential role in developing the city's literary and cultural environment. City of Literature Day was made official by Mayor M. Beena Philip. The Annakulam Cultural Centre is also called the City of Literature Centre. A project by the Indraprasth Institute of Information Technology, Delhi, IIIT Delhi, has won the joint second prize in Trinity Challenger's second competition on tackling the escalating threat of antimicrobial resistance, AMR, on 20 June 2024. The Trinity Challenge is a charity supporting the creation of data-driven solutions to help protect against global health threats. AMR Sense addresses the challenges of engaging, motivating, and training community health workers, CHWs, in AMR surveillance and management, compounded by the lack of a comprehensive data ecosystem and analytics capabilities. The IIIT Delhi project shared the second prize with another project, also from India, titled Oasis, One Health Antimicrobial Stewardship for Informal Health Systems. Each joint second prize winner will receive £6 lakhs in funding over the next 3 years. All winners will also benefit from ongoing post-award innovation and scaling support. During a ceremony in London on 16 June 2024, the award was presented to Mr. Manoranjan Mishra, Executive Director of the Reserve Bank of India, who accepted the honour on behalf of the institution. Central banking commended the RBI for its significant improvements in risk culture and awareness, setting a benchmark for other central banks globally. This accolade highlights the RBI's commitment to enhancing its risk management practices and its crucial role in maintaining the stability of India's financial system. While the adoption of AI and machine learning has provided numerous benefits, the RBI has also acknowledged potential risks associated with overdependence on such technologies. These include the challenge of widespread implementation and the latent risks that may manifest in unforeseen ways, similar to the delayed economic impacts triggered by extreme weather or other climate-related events. Work of forming artificial islands at Kavinadu Kanmoi, one of the biggest irrigation tanks in Pudukkottai district, has been taken up jointly by the Pudukkottai District Administration and Kadmadai Area Integrated Farmers Association (KAIF). As a first step, removal of Simai Karuvelam, an invasive species and weed, in the sprawling tank got underway on 13 June 2024, with the work being inaugurated by Law Minister S. Regupathi and Environment Minister Siva V. Meyanathan. The District Collector I.S. Mercy Ramya was also present. The plan was to plant seedlings of various fruit-bearing trees and local species atop the artificial mounds which would be created on man-made islands to attract birds. Planting of seedlings would be taken up involving volunteers. Each of these artificial mounds would be about 10 feet high from the tank bed. The entire work was to be taken up in 3 phases and would take about 43 days to complete. The Union Cabinet chaired by PM Modi on 19 June 2024 approved the proposal of Airports Authority of India (AAI) for development of Lal Bahadur Shastri International Airport, Varanasi, including construction of new terminal building, apron extension, runway extension, parallel taxi track and allied works. The estimated financial outgo will be Rs. 2,869.65 crore for enhancing the passenger handling capacity of the airport to 9.9 million passengers per annum (MPPA) from the existing 3.9 MPPA. The new terminal building encompasses an area of 75,000 sqm. The proposal includes extending the runway to dimensions 4075 x 45 m and constructing a new apron to park 20 aircraft. Varanasi Airport will be developed as a green airport with the primary objective of ensuring environmental sustainability through energy optimization, waste recycling, carbon footprint reduction, solar energy utilization, and incorporation of natural daylighting, alongside other sustainable measures throughout the planning, development, and operational stages. Sub-Lieutenant Anamika B. Rajiv became the Indian Navy's first woman helicopter pilot during a passing-out parade held in the Naval Air Station in Rajli at Alakkonam in Ranipet district on 7 June 2024. A total of 21 officers were awarded the prestigious Golden Wings by Vice Admiral Rajesh Pendharkar, Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Eastern Naval Command. A passing-out parade was organized to mark the graduation of the 102nd Helicopter Conversion Course. The ceremony also marked the completion of Stage 1 training of the 4th Basic Helicopter Conversion Course, in which 3 officers successfully completed their Stage 1 training. Lieutenant Zamyang Tsewang became the first commissioned naval officer from the Union Territory of Ladakh. The trainees completed an intensive 22-week training program encompassing rigorous flying and ground training. A tech-based innovation, Vidyut Rakshak, developed by the Indian Army, was launched on 10 June 2024. Vidyut Rakshak, developed by the Army Design Bureau (ADB), was launched by the Army's Vice Chief Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi. It is an Internet of Things-enabled integrated generator monitoring, protection and control system. The launch event encompassed the rollout of the first production units of Vidyut Rakshak. Lieutenant General Dwivedi remotely switched on generators located in Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar, and viewed the parameters of the generators remotely. He appreciated the initiatives of ADB in the domain of tech absorption. Has been developed by Major Raj Prasad Rupees and was displayed recently during the exercise Bharat Shakti. The Army also secured a patent for another innovation of Major Raj Prasad called Portable Multi-Target Detonation Device, which has already been inducted in the Indian Army. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new campus of Nalanda University at Rajgir in Nalanda district, Bihar, on 19 June 2024. Ghana Rajendra V. Arlikar, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar were also present on the occasion. Nalanda University is conceived as a collaboration between India and East Asia Summit (EAS) countries. Equipped with state-of-the-art infrastructure, the university campus is spread over 450 acres. Based on the theme of environmental conservation, the campus has been made as a net zero green campus. For energy and other needs, the university is self-sustainable with a solar plant, domestic and drinking water treatment plant, and water recycling plant for reusing wastewater. It has several water bodies spread over the 100-acre area and many other environment-friendly facilities. Somalia was elected on 6 June 2024 to serve on the UN Security Council as a non-permanent member for 2 years. Denmark, Greece, Pakistan and Panama also got seats on the UN Security Council in a secret ballot in the General Assembly. The 193-member world body elected 5 countries. The 10 non-permanent seats on the 15-member council are allotted to regional groups that usually select their candidates but sometimes can't agree on one. This time, the regional groups put forward Somalia for an African seat, Pakistan for an Asia-Pacific seat, Panama for a Latin America and Caribbean seat, and Denmark and Greece for 2 mainly Western seats. The freshly elected council members will start their terms on Jan. 1, replacing those whose 2-year terms end on 31st December, Mozambique, Japan, Ecuador, Malta, and Switzerland. They will join the 5 veto-wielding permanent members, the United States, Russia, China, United Kingdom, and France. An important player in Indian football, Sunil Chhetri, has officially retired from international football. His farewell match, which was a World Cup qualifier against Kuwait, took place in Kolkata's Salt Lake Stadium on 7 June 2024. This marked the end of his illustrious career spanning 19 years. Chhetri's retirement was celebrated all over the world, with tributes coming from FIFA, the Croatian football player Luka Modric, and the Indian cricket great Sachin Tendulkar. In a post honoring his career, FIFA talked about how he had worked for them for almost 20 years. Modric sent Chhetri a video message in which he wished him well and called him legend of the game. The Indian Premier League (IPL) teams and Viren Raskuinha, who used to be India's hockey captain, also gave him high marks for his work and leadership. Chhetri got 94 goals in 151 international games, which ranks him 4th all-time in terms of goals scored by an international player, after Cristiano Ronaldo, Ali Dai, and Lionel Messi. China's Chang'e 6 spacecraft has successfully brought samples from the far side of the Moon back to Earth on 25 June 2024, marking the first-ever return of materials from this scarcely seen lunar region. The historic feat signals not only China's soaring ambitions as a rising space exploration superpower but also the next phase of a new space race with the US and its allies to establish outposts at the strategically valuable lunar South Pole. Wrapping up Chang'e 6's 53-day mission, the spacecraft's sample return capsule parachuted down to a preselected site in the rolling grasslands of China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. There was approximately 2 kilograms of rock and soil were packed inside the capsule that was scooped or drilled from the surface and subsurface of Chang'e 6 lunar landing site in the northeastern quadrant of the Moon's South Pole Aitken, SPA basin. It was China's second lunar sample return mission, as well as its second landing on the far side. And here are some quick reads of the month.